Tua's little brother, Tualia Tagovailoa, his first ever pass in the European League of Football.
See, you should be. Just a quick ball. It's picked off. It's picked off, and that could be a pick six. And it is.
He's played really well at Division I college. Coming over to Europe, it's different.
You're expecting defenses to react the way you would anticipate a defense to react, and they don't. It makes it very difficult to adapt to.
Mike, you play a lot of chess. Magnus Carlson lost to Gukesh. Best chess player in the world, slams the table. Oh my God!
This is completely fair. Chess, if you lose your focus for a second and have a little blunder, the whole thing's gone.
The Georgia baseball players are playing with unbuttoned uniforms.
This is what people want to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead and drink up on that coffee, Mike. I know you're tired. We had a big weekend. Didn't we? We had a big weekend.
Oh boy, did I.
Yeah. We
Anthony
had
wedding.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you say it.
Anthony's wedding, and I'm sure as these videos surface from the day, people will be complimenting my dance moves and my break dancing.
Yeah,
and I did do the worm.
You did do the worm.
It was more of a caterpillar.
Well, you had a good month of May for wedding appearances and wedding dance floor like performances, which I guess we could call that a sport, and this is a sports podcast. So today, everyone, we are going to be breaking down Mikey Alfieri's wedding dance performances. Top 10 moves. No, I think you were at the top of your game on Saturday. Don't you?
Thank you. Yeah. The best part about weddings is doing everything you can to make the day about yourself is what I like to do. And so I like to draw a crowd and then break dance and do these kinds of things so that people forget about who the day's really about and the tension's on me.
It's really about us. I try to do the same thing. I try to make the whole day about my and Andy's speech.
And you were handing out business cards during the reception, if I remember.
It was a networking. I was intercepting the gift envelopes for the bride and groom and just say, I'll take care of that. I'll take care of that. It's sort of a business I have. All right. Mike, we have a lot of interesting sports things to talk about, okay? Including, Mike, your favorite, college baseball. Okay?
Oh, yes.
It's the March Madness of college baseball, but it's June. It's May and June. Okay.
Do they have a tournament?
They have a tournament, 64 team tournament. And there's actually, I have a very hyper specific thing that I want to talk about in the college baseball thing that I cannot wait to get your expert opinion on. I actually, I'm serious.
Okay.
I'm serious. Okay. You'll see it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. NBA finals are set. 2 small market teams. We're going to talk about it. Okay. Oklahoma City and the Indiana Pacers. And of course, I as we do with every show, just a small Timothee Chalamet segment. Like we're not going to do, maybe we'll do 10, 15 minutes on Timmy Chalamet as we do, as we tend to do. And then chess. Golf?
Say it like that.
Okay.
Chess?
Well, it's called creating artistic anticipation, Mike. Okay?
You're right. Yeah.
I'm a storyteller. Okay. So I'm telling a story. Last thing, thoughts on my shirt today. It's not my best one, is it?
This it looks like it was a white shirt at one point, and it's lived a little bit too long of a life, and it looks like a shirt that's on the cusp of either being donated or thrown away.
That's rich.
I don't think it should be donated. I think it should be a thrown away type of situation.
Not a big donation guy. Well, I should say that's rich coming from you, Mr. Stainy sweatshirt on the last 3 shows. Okay.
I brought that sweatshirt home, and I'm pretty sure Ma washed it.
That's not on me. My mom didn't wash the sweatshirt yet.
Yeah.
So, Ma. Okay. All right. But with all that, we have all that. But I want to start off, Mike, as they say, across the pond. Is that good? European accent? Take it again. Okay, no, I do want to talk about the European League of Football because we had a big name, or well, let's say the brother of a big name.
Oh, nice.
Come over.
I know how that feels.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's rich. The brother of a big name coming over to the European League of Football for a very highly anticipated debut. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. But first, Mike, let me just throw this up because I want to give you the opportunity to pick my brain a little bit on the European League of Football. Okay, we've got the standings after 3 weeks, and then we're going to get. Oh, there it is. There we go. Oh, I figured it out. All right.
Wow.
If you can see that, can you see that? It's a nice graphic. Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Can you see those? Okay. So this is what we got. We got the standings of the European League of Football after 3 weeks right here. And Mike, give me what do you wonder about these teams here? Anything that you wonder?
Interesting. It's already been 3 weeks. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's what I love about the ELF is the names of these teams are
Oh.
so interesting. The
It's like-
Bravos.
Yeah.
The Mercenaries. Mercenaries is such a cool name.
It is a cool name. It's funny though because they absolutely are terrible. The Bravos
Really?
are kind of cool team.
Where
So
are the Mercenaries? What city is that?
It's in Helvetic, which is a region in Switzerland. So it's the Helvetic Mercenaries.
Okay.
Not a great ball club.
Who is the top of the league right now?
Okay,
Is
top of the league. We see here the Stuttgart Surge down here at the bottom in the West Division. They're sitting at 2-1. Okay, Stuttgart Surge, coached by our former coach Mike Jordan Newman, who we know very
Nice.
well. Okay, but let's go ahead and to use podcast talk. Let's go ahead and double click on the Stuttgart Surge here because their opponent of this last week was the big story that I want to talk about. So Tua's little brother, Tualia Tagovailoa, who played at Maryland and actually like a really successful career at Maryland. I think he's the all-time leading passer in what conference are they? Are they Big 12? Is that the Big 12?
Yeah, I think it's Big 12.
Okay, Big 12. So big news that it was announced that, okay, he's coming to the European League of Football. And this is exactly what the ELF wants. Like we want kind of big names, or like I said, the brother of big names coming over and like, oh, this guy's going to come over and make a big splash. So super highly anticipated, coming over to the ELF to make his debut, to kind of save this team that is struggling without a quarterback. And
is it a bad team that he came over?
It's the Hamburg Sea Devils, and they're not bad, but like they had a lot of off the field drama. Their coach just quit like 1 week before the first game, and there's just like off the field drama. So here is his first ever pass in the European League of Football, highly anticipated. Let me throw this up for you. Okay. Sorry, my computer screen. Okay, here we go. You ready? Can you see it?
On the edge.
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
You see, you should be. So fakes it. Just a quick ball. It's picked off. It's picked off, and that could be a pick six. And it is. I cannot believe it. The first pass in the ELF career of Tualia Tagovailoa is a pick six. Can you believe it?
The announcer's so mean.
Zimmer and Wilson.
Well, that's one of the things about the announcers in the European League of Football is like they are just so direct and so straightforward and just so it could be.
I think it's great. That's great for entertainment. Wow. So how long were they anticipating? Why didn't he start the season off with them? This is his first game.
I think he was trying to do this whole NFL thing.
Okay.
So this is his first game.
He just got pulled over.
I was just saying this is probably like the most disappointing way to start off a career in a new league. But Mike, this is what I want. I want to ask you about this because obviously the guy he's a talented football player, played really well at Division I college. But and you know about this, coming over to Europe, it's different. It's like your talent level sometimes doesn't
matter
one to one, right? Like, can you speak to that a little bit?
It's so interesting. It's like I think I've spoken to this a little bit in the past, but it's like if you come from a place that's very football sound, like very everybody does their job and everybody follows their assignment, and you're playing teams that everybody follows their assignment, and then you come to Europe, it's very difficult because you're expecting people or defenses to do the right thing or just react the way you would anticipate a defense to react.
Sure.
And they don't. And it's very interesting. And this is where that factor comes in, where you're playing against guys that some guys could be in the NFL and then some guys have been playing football for 2 years. And that discrepancy that you're going against, especially as an offensive player, especially as a quarterback, because quarterback is such an anticipatory position that when you have this much range in talent and behavior on the other side of the ball, it makes it very difficult to adapt to. And so I think you've seen this a lot of like guys who come over and struggle initially and then find their footing. But I think most guys, especially coming from big schools or guys at NFL, come over and look down upon maybe European or just think that they're like big shots and like, oh, I don't need to practice. I don't need to train. I don't need to watch film. I'm going to come in and dominate and then do really bad.
Yes.
And so it's difficult transition.
Yeah, like that's one of the big things. Also, like with guys who played big time football or like 1A football in the United States, they come over and like, oh, I'm just going to dominate Europe. And I like to see when this kind of stuff happens because I'm a big proponent of European American football.
Yeah.
And I like to see like kind of some of these American players come over and be like, oh, it's actually a little bit better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So we got that. So
how did he finish out the game? To his brother.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Did he recover?
He got pulled for a German quarterback.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. I don't think it was. I mean, he was not playing well. He went like 5 for 16 with that pick and just was not doing well.
Crazy.
But it's not all on him. I mean, the offensive line was not very good. He didn't trust the offensive line. He was only there for like a week or so. Okay. All right. Let me just give me one more little rundown here because I just love looking at the standings of the ELF. Okay. And we've got 3 undefeated teams left. People, if you're not watching the European League of Football, you should. The Nordic Storm, Mike, sitting there at the top of the North Division. New team. Great. Vienna Vikings, top of the East, 3-0. Munich Ravens. This is the team that Joe Thomas, the NFL Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
He was coaching there last year.
Is he not there this year?
No, he just did 1 year. And he came. It was so funny because like he came over, he did the year, and it was like a really big deal because he's such a big name. And then he came back and he was on the the New Heights podcast with the Kelsey brothers. And everyone was like really excited about him being on that podcast and talking about European football. And he was nice about it, but he was like accidentally really, really condescending about it. So he's like he was like, yeah, I mean, these guys are just desperate for good coaching. I mean, they're just thirsty. They're just desperate for good coaching. And so it was like, nice, but also really,
that's so mean, Joe.
Come on, Joe. So, all right, there we have it.
That's crazy.
You're being like, oh, go ahead.
Who's like the bottom of the league right now for ELF?
Ooh, it's that who the worst team is? The Cologne Centurions. They can't figure out quarterback, and I think they lost 60-0. So there's a couple teams like that, but then like the top 10, 11, 12 teams, very, very interesting. So we've got that, and I will be broadcasting some games with that same kind of, would you call it, pure passion, backyard passion?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have that.
Okay, watching where the ELF is right now, what do you think is going to happen to the like native leagues, like the GFL or the IFL? Because this is something. Because in America, Europe has so many different leagues.
I know,
and, like tiers of leagues that America does not have.
Yeah,
it's almost like a wider net.
It is a way wider net because
it's crazy.
Like, for example, the ELF had an Italian team for the last 2 years, but they actually weren't very good because they couldn't get most of the Italian talent to come play. Most of those guys are just like, I'm just going to stay and play in my home league. I don't want to move to go on and be in that. So if they were able to get all the talent from the Italian domestic league, then they'd be a good team. So like you'd think that the ELF would just poach everyone. But in some countries they don't. In Germany they do, and in Austria they do. But like Italy, the Italian football league is still pretty.
It's so Italian. It's so Italian. You want to come compete with the best in Europe? No, I'm having fun here.
Yeah, that's exactly
awesome.
Exactly what it is.
Love it.
Okay. Now, as I said, Mike, I wanted to get really your thoughts on college baseball here, okay? Because very, very important. All right. Start off here. I'm just going to throw up the bracket for what they're called the Road to Omaha.
That's right.
This used to be called the College World Series, and now they're calling it the D1 Baseball Championship. I don't know. Some sort of naming issue, perhaps. Hey, Oregon State, Mike, you ever see over here in the left-hand column? Do you see where I'm putting it? They
won back-to-back championships when I was there.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the guys were so cocky. They were so scary. The baseball players, the weight room.
That's what I
down on the football players.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of crazy. And that's kind of how it was also at Georgetown. Like, it's crazy when the sport that is objectively like more dominant football,
Yeah.
has less respect within the university than like a baseball team or the lacrosse team because that team has more success within their sport. So it like
Yeah.
creates this artificial, I don't like this artificial dominance hierarchy
Yeah,
within
yeah,
the
it's so fake.
president.
It's like,
Do you feel
it's
that?
so funny, and it's so funny. It's like, you could win the championship in baseball, but it's like, it's still baseball. Like, it's if any of us wanted to come play baseball in 6 months, we'd be doing what you're doing. It's baseball. That's
Yeah.
what I felt like, and it's just really funny. Um, the baseball guys get a lot of. I mean, you deserve it. They are back-to-back champions, but like
At the same time,
to see,
it's kind
Yeah.
of like, you know how you see like you remember the movie The Incredibles? Do you remember The Incredibles?
of course, one of my
Okay, the
favorites.
dad, Mr.
Yeah.
Incredible, who is
Yeah.
literally a superhero, really big and strong.
Yes. Oh, this
He's
is a great analogy.
really good analogy, right?
Yeah.
He's working at this insurance company, and there's all these scenes of this tiny little boss who is bossing him around at his job. And
Yeah.
we as society have created sort of these artificial, like I said, dominance hierarchies where a guy who in nature would get absolutely destroyed and obliterated, and Mr. Incredible would take all of his resources, is now getting this artificial power within a corporate structure, and he's able to boss around Mr. Incredible. And it's kind of similar in a college.
I'm Mr. Incredible. In this analogy, I'm Mr. Incredible.
You're Mr. Incredible.
That is actually a great analogy, and that's so true. These artificial dominance hierarchies, because then it's like both teams are in the weight room, and we're
Right.
doing like these crazy workouts, and then the baseball guys are over there doing the stick with
Oh,
the
the stick
string to
roll.
do the
Yeah.
forearm workout, and that's the majority of their exercises is the forearm twisting thing, and they're like cheering each other on, and
They
it's
got
like.
what is that? The band thing, like the
Yeah.
deltoid band thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's
hey,
just
get
like-
out of here, football. I know you're doing power
Get
cleans, but I got to do the deltoid armband thing.
Yeah.
It's so unnatural.
Baseball players' workouts is all just the four-way shoulder band stuff, and they're like, it's really funny.
Here is the bread and butter of what I want to get at. Georgia, okay, an SEC school, big sports powerhouse school. The Georgia baseball players are playing. Do you see this? With unbuttoned uniforms. They're
That's
like letting it go all the way down halfway, letting it rage. And this person's tweet says, I've never wanted college baseball to embrace the MLB trend of intentionally sending a 95-mile-per-hour fastball at a batter's back. Georgia Bulldogs team is the douchiest team I've ever seen. So, Mike, thoughts on this, on the baseball players doing this with their uniform? And then I have a secondary follow-up question.
Okay.
What are some other douchey things that we see in sports that guys do? Like, for example, maybe doing the midriff in football, which I know you have maybe done, and you can defend.
Let me defend it. Number one, this is a great segment. This is what people want to talk about.
This is a good
segment. This is what's interesting about baseball. You don't really have much opportunity to express individuality and swag with a baseball uniform. Like in football, there's so many things you can do. I feel like wristbands.
The armbands, visor,
the visor, mouthpiece, showing your back pad, rolling your knee pads up over your knees.
True.
There's a lot of things that you can do that in football when you see a guy who's like, oh, he looks good. Is like you can do that. I don't know. Maybe I have to be closer to the sport of baseball, but from the bird's eye view that I have, there's not really a lot of things that you can do. Now, I would say this, a little strange, but I also know that if I was playing baseball, I would do this because my thing is I'm always so hot that I would do anything to lower my body temperature while I'm competing. And it's like it is the equivalent of the midriff. This is the equivalent of like Ezekiel Elliott midriff at Ohio State. Remember?
Yes, I do remember.
I think it's the same type of caliber of thing.
Okay, but you also, I'm pretty sure I've seen photos of you doing the midriffs.
Always. So,
why?
Number one, at practice, in football practice, I always have my jersey up over my belt buckles, straps,
Sure.
because it cools me down like 10 degrees.
Okay.
That is a thing of a survival because we would do this thing where you'd weigh in before and after practice.
Right.
And I was always would lose like the most weight. So I go like from 195 to 185 from lost weight of practice. They used to give me special drinks because I work so hard and I would sweat so much.
Okay.
And so I would do anything to cool myself down. So I always have my jersey up, especially during like fall camp practices and stuff. And then during games, our jerseys are so tight, it's so hard to get those jerseys on that if I could just roll it up a little bit, it made such a difference.
All right, that's kind of fair. Okay, so you weren't doing it for like aesthetic purposes. You were like, oh, I look really cool.
Actually, I did look really cool, but the main thing was I need to get cooled down because I can't breathe.
Okay. I mean, I can understand that. Just I would still say if I saw you on the football field, I'd be like, oh, what a douche. He thinks he looks really cool doing the midriff. But now that I have your explanation, I understand it. And you gain a couple points back. Sure.
Good.
What else in sports can people do? Or well, let's say what else in football do people do that's like really, really douchey?
Okay.
Oh, here's one for me. Drives me crazy. The 2 binky mouthpieces. Have you seen this?
Yeah, it's insane. It's so insane.
That's absolutely ridiculous. And that's actually, it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope.
Where are we stopping?
We're going to have 5 mouthpieces on there. So I think that's pretty silly. And I don't know. I think the unbutton, it does feel like such a Southern Georgia SEC type thing. And so maybe there's a little bit of defense there.
Those guys are going to get some great Instagram pictures from games.
That's true. Damn, that is true. Yeah. They are going to get, which is why we play sports, isn't it?
Which is why half the guys in college play sports. It's for the Instagram. Sick pictures from game day.
Well, that's
okay. I think the other things are just wearing a lot of wristbands. Something I always looked down on, but was secretly jealous of was guys who could do the really scrunchy socks. Like receivers with the really scrunchy socks, like the way Odell Beckham wears socks.
Oh, like
we had some receivers on our team. Yeah, no, it was like really long soccer socks, but they'd scrunch it and look really good. You look really athletic. Yep. I didn't know how to do that. I tried it. I just didn't look cool. And so because I couldn't do it, I would make fun of guys who did it, even though it made them look really fast.
Well, that's like a good way to interact with other things. If you're jealous, to put the others down and make fun of them, to bring yourself up.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
There's a couple guys from grade school that used to do that to me that I still and I won't say it. I almost said the name. He's probably watching. I'll say it off
That's
there.
really funny.
Okay, so there we have it. College baseball. We're getting into all that. Actually, University of Texas was being really cocky, and they lost to University of Texas San Antonio, their little brother. So we've got some stories there going on in baseball.
Wait, Nick, before we move on from the swag thing.
Okay.
You would have an interesting perspective because you are the most anti-swag player probably in the history of football. And so like your football style and sports style is the literal antithesis of what they're doing here with this baseball thing.
So, well, thank you so much, Mike. You never said that's beautiful. So beautiful.
If you were there, you'd have the top button done.
I would have a tie on, okay, and then I have another long sleeve. I'd go button up, black tie, I'd have a jacket over it, like we did at the wedding. So the swag stuff for me, I mean, you've heard my my motto, look bad, play good. And it is because your opponent then, and I've said this before, underestimates you.
Yeah.
I used to have a loose, you see how loose this t-shirt is on my arms and how kind of not great it looks. I used to wear something like this under my football pads in college. Okay. And it would like go down almost to my elbows and it looked so bad. And I didn't wear gloves. Okay. And I had a big knee brace. All right. And so I looked really, really bad. But the strategy was then people like offensive linemen would be like, oh my gosh, I got to block this idiot little linebacker. And then I would, I'd get around them. And so it's sort of a psychological tactic. That's why I think also if you try to be swagged out, you put extra pressure on yourself. Okay. So like you have to live up to how you look.
That's fair.
If you look poorly, then you're always going to get above that bar. And so that's sort of my motto right here. I don't think I couldn't pull off the unbuttoned down baseball jersey. It's just not in my toolbox. I think you could.
I could do it.
Yeah. You like
I need the extra pressure on myself.
Yeah. You like that external fashion pressure. Okay, Mike. let's here real quick. Let's move. The NBA finals are set. All right. And I've been. This is a very funny tweet. I'm gonna scroll up to say Indiana Pacers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we've talked about it. Oh, two kind of small market teams. Oh no, this is a hilarious tweet because the small market teams has been like a legitimate concern or criticism or worry of this year's NBA finals. And I just thought this tweet was very, very funny. This guy, Michael Martin, says, sorry, guys, I can't enjoy this year's NBA finals regardless of the high quality basketball. I looked up the team market size, and I don't think the billionaires at the TV network will make as much money this year. Makes me sick to my stomach to even consider what's happening. Okay.
Oh, my gosh. That's really funny.
It's a good tweet. It is.
Random people on the internet are so funny.
Oh, it's just
nothing funnier than a stranger on the internet.
Pinnacle of human culture. Is that. So we do have to, because we're talking about this, we have to touch on Timothee Chalamet. All right. And no, like it's not, I don't want to. It's not that I want to. We have to because he represents the New York Knicks. And Timmy has been great going to all the Knicks games, both at Madison Square Garden and traveling to Indiana. I think a lot of people have been impressed with him getting Kylie Jenner to Indiana on a Saturday night, which, I don't, who would have thought a couple months ago. And this is a great tweet here. So you see right here, Timothée Chalamet. He's stressed out in this. Like she's hugging him.
Yeah,
he's so stressed. This says, dude has a billionaire supermodel all over him, and yet still can barely crack a smile because he's too nervous about the game. True fan. I just every day I see something new about Timothée Chalamet.
Timothy baller.
This guy rocks.
So cool. He does not care about here. He is there for the game. He's a true fan. And what a guy to have around the team. He's going to be the next. This is McConaughey level.
Yeah, it is.
Influence.
He's putting in that McConaughey work right there. Yeah. And unfortunately, he did not. His juju and his aura did not get the Knicks to the finals, but they had a good run. They had a good run getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. Okay, Mike. This I wanted to throw this up because you play a lot of chess, okay? And Magnus Carlson, who has been like the chess guy of our generation, the best chess player, he lost. Oops, hold on. Let me throw this up here. Let me switch it. Okay. And I just wanted to get your take on his response to his loss and sort of his behavior, because chess, obviously, very buttoned up. We're going to call it a sport in this, okay? Maybe it's a game. Maybe it's a sport. It's a sport. You burn 6,000 calories while playing a match, okay? So he lost to Gukesh, who's this guy. He's on the come up here.
Oh, wow. He just walked off.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Oh! Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
That is awesome.
Okay. Best chess player in the world slams the table. Oh my gosh.
Darn it.
As a guy that plays a lot of chess in the Alfieri household, and I know you and I have actually gotten to some fights about chess. What's your take on this reaction?
This is completely fair. Chess can be so frustrating. If you lose your focus for a second and have a little blunder, the whole thing's gone. All the work you've put in is gone in a second. It's like to equate it to football.
Okay.
It's like if you throw one pick and then the whole game's over. There's no way to recover. But like up until that, you played a perfect game, and then you slipped up for a second. Chess, you can't really recover from a single slip up, or where in other sports you can recover from a single slip up. And so that's the difference. That's why it can be so frustrating. And you know what? This is an appropriate reaction. His frustration came out. He immediately shook his hand.
He did shake his hand right away.
And also he's probably really happy, Gukesh, because he's like, I won this and I made Magnus this mad. I'm pretty good. And it's kind of a nice thing to show that you got that frustrated from the loss, because it's a sign of respect.
It's honestly pretty classy, actually.
It is classy.
Because this guy has a huge win over Magnus Carlson, and Magnus Carlson shows no emotion, like he doesn't even care.
Yeah.
And then Gukesh doesn't get to feel like, oh man, look, I really got Magnus Carlson.
Yeah.
I like that take. And we need to see more of that in chess, because obviously, objectively, from like the outside perspective, it's not so exciting to watch. But if we get a little bit more emotion and sort of
what I like more brawls,
the bad boys
people swinging on each other. Yeah, the bad boys of chess.
Okay.
That'd be so funny.
Which Magnus,
remember the Jailblazers in the 90s? That's the kind of energy we need in chess.
Yeah,
we need guys straight out of prison who were playing in the yard and then came out to go professional.
You know, it's a funny concept, and I don't know if there has been like chess guys like this, but you know how there's like the chess boards in like public parks.
Yeah,
so you got like your chess prodigies who like, their parents saw early on that they're really good at chess, and they got
this is good
and stuff, right? And then so there's sort of the white collar chess guys.
Yeah,
but where is our sort of rags to riches chess athlete who? Okay, maybe he came from a single parent household and he had to go to the park. He couldn't even afford a chessboard, and he played chess at a public park, and then comes up. That's who.
That's a story. That's what chess needs. And those guys are all over. These savants that play just in parks and stuff. Andy down at Berkeley would go and play in these parks against just savant people. And he's like, you can't win a single game. They're so good. They'll beat in 3 moves. And Andy's a really good player.
True.
And these these guys who can't even put a sentence together will just go and then beat you so fast.
Yeah.
So their minds are moving so fast. You got to just grab one of those guys, put them in the tournament, see what happens.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I mean, I feel like those guys don't even know how to. They can't even sign up for a tournament. So like, you need people who
sign your name here.
Sign here. Get in this chess tournament, and that's a story that would be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Okay, is a rags to riches chess player who had to come up playing on public parks with missing pieces and all these guys.
That'd be a great movie. Actually,
would actually be a really good movie.
Okay, that was one of your better takes of all time.
I'm having such good takes. Think about today. Think about my Mr. Incredible take.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're a metaphor man today.
I'm on fire today. Yeah. I'm like that Mr. Incredible take. Some of my best work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really
last thing. We got funny sports today. European football. We got college baseball. We have golf chess. Now let's do golf. Scottie Schefler, 28 years old, has had a pretty good month of May. And you can see, I got to share this. Sorry. Share this tab instead. This is his month. He's earned nearly $10 million in winnings in 30 days. Just won the Memorial Tournament this past weekend. That's a $4 million purse. He won that PGA Championship earlier in the month with a $3.5 million purse. Good for him. However, this is what I want to bring up. So he wins the tournament, and then his wife comes and hands him his baby, and this is like on national television, and they're mic'd up, and the baby has poop all over his back, and the wife says, "Oh, watch out, his poop all over."
Then we're gonna get the next one.
Did you have fun watching him? What is that? He had so much fun watching me. He had poop all over his back, so if you
that's leaking through the back. That is so funny.
You're like this. You win this massive tournament. You just pocket $4 million, superstar, professional athletes. But look, dad life doesn't stop. And this is like a good thing. I think that like it kind of humbles a person, can humble an athlete because your baby doesn't care. Your baby's still gonna, you're gonna need to change your baby. Have you ever had like a really humbling experience? I've got one in my mind from.
Okay.
Actually, there's kind of a lot playing football in Europe. But have you ever experienced like a really humbling moment in sports?
Let me think.
If you want to think, I can tell you mine first.
Okay. All I have to say is poop will humble you so quick.
Oh, yes,
okay. That's all. That's my only take right now. Let's hear yours. Let's see if I can think of something while you're going. Okay. I'm very curious.
Okay. I think it's like you are going. So we're going to play in the German Bowl in this massive, big stadium. It's not Division I college football stadium, but we got tens of thousands of people there, like 30,000 people there. Play a great game and you win the German Bowl. Okay, and you go back and got to go into these terrible, tiny locker rooms where you don't even have your own locker. You got to carry all your pads. We're coming out here to this bus where we got to take we won, and we got to take like a 12-hour bus ride all the way back. It's just like you feel really cool on the field there. And there's a lot of these moments within European American football where after or off the field, it's like, oh yeah, I'm playing in Europe. Or it's like going to practice at the Unicorns that we play for. you're feeling like, oh yeah, you get there. There's no locker. You're getting dressed for football practice on the side of the field with like fans watching. So
you bring your own water bottle.
you bring your own water bottle. And so some of these moments that, especially when I first came to Europe, were very, very humbling. I mean, I'm sure you had a lot of these as well.
Yeah, all the similar things with Europe. Actually, the first thing that comes to mind is thinking how Oregon State was the opposite. So, like at Oregon State, we were so bad, we didn't win that many games. But then you leave the stadium, you get a nice meal, a nice catered meal that you grab. You get on a bus, you go drive straight to the tarmac, right, and walk right onto the plane, and they have free Jamba Juice smoothies of whatever flavor you want. You grab when you get on the plane, and then you go home the next day. There's massages in the training room.
Gosh,
there is no motivation to win. Our lives were so good, and so it's like the exact opposite. Is sort of we didn't really get humbled. We got our ego boosted after every loss.
That's interesting.
Like,
So
we still have great treatment.
Inverse of humbling. Well, that's
Yeah.
actually that's got to be even crazier for you then when you came to Europe, because like you guys got that treatment. You go like straight to the plane and then fly. Like
Yeah.
I was used to in college not even taking planes to games, so it was still humbling for me, but not as much. But for you to go from after the game getting on a jet to after our game, you and me still being in our football uniform and pads and everything and driving a smart car back to our apartment.
Yeah. Smart car with the decal of the team on the side.
So little bit different way to leave your football game, but we did win those games, didn't we?
It was like in Talladega Nights where he had to sell his windshield space for the Fig Newton sticker. I was selling my visor space as ad space to companies.
We had
to see through my visor.
We had to generate any extra revenue that we could. So that's good. Sports, no matter how on top of the world you get, Scottie Schefler, your baby's still gonna poop his diaper and you're gonna have to change the child. Okay. It's a good, humbling experience. All right. There we go. That was a fun show let's call it niche sports today.
Yeah, that's a good title.
Niche
sports.
That was nice and niche. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for watching us this morning with our off-white T-shirts. We appreciate it. NBA Finals are set, and we are excited for that. And we will see you on. Sorry. Last thing, Mikey was really excited. Mikey was really excited because I made fun of him last episode for having a New York Jets helmet in his background. This weird matchup, Jets versus the Baltimore Ravens. It's sort of like a who cares sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And now you've got the Lions versus the Ravens, a great NFC team versus a great AFC team. Like that could honestly be the Super Bowl this year.
Yep. So I have all these helmets and I pick ones for the episodes that I feel the people want to see.
Good. There we have it. New helmets coming next episode.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you. And we'll see you next time.